Good afternoon from AlphaCars. My name is Tom, coming to you from our Northampton location, and today we're going to be taking a look at this 2017 Range Rover Sport. Now this Range Rover Sport is showing just over 88,000 original miles, and if you would like to see a high-resolution detailed photo set, please reference the listing at alphacars.com. There, of course, you will also find a free included Carfax report, alongside a long list of technical data related to the vehicle's remaining tire and brake life, as well as individual readings from each panel using our paint depth gauge. But today I'll be taking you on a quick condition overview around both the interior and the exterior of the Range Rover, as well as showing you some of its more notable features. So we'll start by taking a look here at the exterior, where you'll find the bodywork finished in a beautiful metallic gray. You'll find while looking into that direct sunlight, it only has minor imperfections, just very light hazing marks there on the hood, just little swirl marks, but nothing serious whatsoever, and it presents very nicely. As usual, we'll take really close to the panel so as to look for any irregularities in the way the light reflects off the panel, which will highlight any dings, dents, or major scratching. You can see the paint has a really nice glossy finish as I make my way here to the back of the 3/4 panel at the rear of the driver's side, and all checks out and looks beautiful. I love the black contrast on all of the trim above the window line just there, and the whole roof, including the glass panel up top, is black, so it really gives it a nice two-tone finish, and that two-tone style is carried nicely into the wheel design. You do have a nice dark metallic gray. It is a satin finish and presents beautifully, and hiding just behind those big 21-inch wheels, you also have some beautiful bright red brake calipers. Michelin tires in nice condition, and the wheels, especially this one in the back, absolutely no curb rash. They're all in great shape, and I also love that blacked out Land Rover badge in the center cap. Same goes for the wheel here at the front, no curb rash to report whatsoever, and some even larger Brembo branded calipers hidden just behind. Now as we take a look at the front fascia of the vehicle, you do have that nice blacked out front grille, as well as the black text and script there on the Range Rover badge. Of course, the classic metallic British green there on the Land Rover badge. Looking at the headlight lenses, both showing no sense of oxidation, discoloration, or scratching. They look very nice, and you even have some Range Rover branding inside of the projector bulb just there. Looks very nice. The entire front bumper is in great condition as well, minimal rock chipping or damage in the paint. However, you will notice on this little housing here on the bottom of the passenger side, you do have a little bit of paint damage there around the edges. However, it is relatively minor. On the hood, we also have these nice vents here, which are finished to match that contrast in gloss black, matching beautifully with the fender vents just below them. Another wheel here at the front of the passenger side in perfect condition, with a beautiful brake caliper just behind it there in gloss red. And taking another look, you get a really nice look at the metallic finish of the paint here at this angle. And we'll go really close to the panel. I do notice a small bit of scratching just there behind the front wheel, and a small paint chip on the lower portion of this door here at the front. But as we make our way past the gas cap, the rest of the way on the passenger side looks excellent. Finally, on the exterior, we're here at the rear of the vehicle. You do have some more of that black trim and script there for the Range Rover badge. That nice black trim carries beautifully into the taillights, which are both in excellent shape as well. And to match not only the gloss red calipers, but also the taillights and the reflectors here at the back, you do have the Sport badge in that nice gloss red, really stands out here at the back of the vehicle. On the lower portion, we do have a black plastic diffuser panel with a nice body match color insert in the middle, which is flanked by two chrome exhaust tips, which are in very nice condition as well. So now we've covered the exterior, let's make our way into the interior of the vehicle, where you will find a very nice spec, all black with some very interesting trim that we'll cover in a second. You can see here the driver's seat is in stunning condition. Same goes for the passenger seat. I do love this nice wide center console armrest, as well as the individually adjustable armrests for each front seat occupant. These are really nice to have, and you can really fine-tune the comfort to your liking. These seats are perforated and both heated and cooled here in the front. And as I make my way inside, you see this beautiful satin silver Range Rover door sill. Nice solid thud as you close the door. Of course, it is very high quality materials all the way throughout the Range Rover. I'm going to start it up with the key in my pocket using this button on the dash. As you can see, fires up without any strange warning lights or issues to note. If you see any flickering on any of the screens, that's only due to the camera effect on the light. Here to the human eye, it looks perfect. As everything fires up in the gauge cluster, we'll take a look here at the infotainment screen in the center. Of course, we do have a nice backup camera fitted. And if we return home, you do have a bunch of other interesting screens, one of which that's my favorite personally is the off-road settings. So if I click that button in the far right, you can look at a variety of different menus, which are quite interesting, especially if you plan to take this vehicle off-road, of where they are quite capable. You can see here, you can examine the angle at which the vehicle sits. You can see some pretty cool navigational info. Very, very interesting stuff, and it's cool to see that technology so well integrated. But looking more generally at the condition here on the interior, you do have a beautiful leather-wrapped dash. Everything ahead of me essentially is leather-wrapped, and it looks and feels fantastic. See some great stitching there on the shroud over the gauge cluster, and that same beautiful material carries all the way across to the passenger side and down onto the airbag cover just here, where you have some more gorgeous stitching carrying all the way across. Steering wheel, of course, all the controls look perfect and function exactly as intended. You have that nice silver Range Rover badging there in the center, and some more controls here, one of which, my personal favorite, is the heated steering wheel control, which is an amazing feature to have, especially here in New England this time of year as it starts to get cold. Looking here at the controls on my left side, I do have all of my door controls just here, as well as a speaker there for the Meridian sound system, which is the brand that Range Rover, Jaguar, Land Rover, etc. Uses for their premium audio systems, and there's absolutely no exception with these Meridian sound systems in these Range Rovers. They sound incredible, and you'll find the same just here. Looking here at your controls through the center console area, you do have some really interesting trim, flanked by this nice satin silver finish trim. You also have this really cool pattern carrying all the way down the center console and onto those door controls that I showed you just a moment ago. Really, really interesting pattern. And if I slide this cover back, you will see a couple of cup holders as well as a power outlet just there. I also have, oh, pardon me, couldn't get a grip on that. I also have all of my climate controls just here, and I love the way that they've integrated some of the controls into other dials. As you can see, my temperature control just here, but if I push, I can then select either seat cooling or seat heating off of that very same dial, and then push to resume the temperature control functionality. I really like that feature. They do it a lot in their vehicles, but this is a really nice example. You also have your, of course, your gear selector, but also your off-road mode controller just here. If you push that, it rises out of the dashboard, and then you can use that knob to select your different modes depending on the driving situation you may find yourself in. Here you have your driving mode control, your cruise control, as well as your ride height control. Because this vehicle does have air suspension, you can raise or lower it depending on your situation. If you need a bit more ground clearance, you can easily achieve that with the push of a button. That's a great feature. And here in the center console, as I mentioned, you have this nice big armrest, and that space is not wasted. As you open it up, you will see all of your media inputs just there, as well as your fast charging, HDMI, another power outlet, etc. But also, you can see I have it switched on right now. There is a small refrigerator here in the center console. That white wall down there is where the refrigeration happens, and it gets very cold. When I tell you to the touch right now, it is really an ice box in there. It's starting to get very, very chilly, and I only flicked it on just a couple of minutes ago. So that's great to keep any of your items cold if need be, but also you can just switch that off and have a more traditional arrangement for your center console storage. One more thing before I make my way under the hood is I would like to show you this beautiful panoramic sunroof. One touch of this button just here, and you'll see the roof starts to reveal itself. A beautiful glass panel, carrying all the way to the second row of seating, and it retracts and closes there without any problems. It's nice and smooth. All of the fabric goes exactly where it should. And that is all controlled via this panel just here. I'm going to leave this open for the time being, and also you can control and open that sunroof using the other switch just there. But while that's happening, we're going to make our way up underneath the hood, where we can take a look at the beautiful supercharged V6. So as you can see, I popped the hood here at the front of the Range Rover Sport, where we can take a look at that supercharged V6 engine. Looking at the general condition here under the hood, everything is very clean. You do have a lot more of that gloss and piano black finishing here at the nose, and all of your black plastics shine very nicely. All of your connections look great, all of your intricate metal pieces, all of the hardware around the top of your suspension just there. It all presents beautifully. See, all of the vents here are just the same. And you can hear it idling very happily here. I'll let you listen uninterrupted. It's a fantastic little powertrain for the Range Rover. While remaining relatively efficient, it also delivers just the right amount of power to promote a really sporty driving experience, hence the badge you found there on the back, the Range Rover Sport. It does live up to that name, and of course very, very clean under here, clearly very well cared for by the previous owners. Now let's take a look here in the second row of seating, where you have beautiful materials, just the same as you found up in the front. And I'm gonna hop in. Now, sitting behind where I would comfortably drive the vehicle at 6'4", I still have plenty of legroom sitting behind myself, and that is always a great thing to see. Looking just in front of me, I do have some climate controls here for the second row. I have climate vents here in the center and just above my head on either side. Now also, just next to that fan speed control, I do have heated and ventilated seats for my second row occupants, which is just an awesome feature to have, especially for families here in New England as it gets colder, or even in the summer as it gets really hot. You have some extra comfort features for your second row occupants, and that's always a welcome addition. You can see a very nice view here of the cabin in the front. And lastly, we'll go take a look here as I pass the beautifully appointed door panel. We'll take a look here at the cargo area. Now, of course, one-touch operation. It opens up that tailgate, no problem, nice and smooth. And you can see the carpeting here in the back is in great shape. Those seats do fold down for a bit of extra storage if you need it. We do have WeatherTech mats for your front occupants and the original Range Rover fitted mats for the second row. I also have this nice privacy blind to cover up your belongings in the back to any unwanted eyes, and that stows and extends exactly as it's intended. We also have a nice rubber mat to protect the carpeting underneath, which is also in fantastic condition, very, very clean. And as you can see with one touch operation, that tailgate closes down just as smoothly as it opens. So if you have any further questions relating to this 2017 Range Rover Sport, please reference the listing at alphacars.com, and there you will find all of the relevant contact information. Thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful rest of your day. We hope to hear from you soon. Thank you from AlphaCars.